This is intake, this is Project Z, and today we're just going to see exactly how tight the old girl is. Today you're in for a radical episode where we strut our stuff, because I have a strut brace and it's a radiator which keeps things cool, radi cool. Anyway, this is going to be about a 4 beer job. 3 for the actual undertaking of the job and 1 to contemplate death while staring into the abyss that is the Z32 engine bay. Something doesn't feel right here. Oh, thanks.
I think you might need to drop the engine for this. Might need some more beers.
Who the fuck are you?
Intake's always been about smashing gears and sinking beers.
It's my show. Intake's always been about gears, some smashing beers, and why'd you have to do it better? Today, what are we doing today?
Today we're swapping out the radiator for a new and improved one, and we're going to stiffen this bad boy up with strut brace as well.
Why did you have to just come in here and just get everything right the first time? Okay, so we're not here to fuck spiders, so we're just going to get right into it. This is for you.
What the fuck am I holding this for?
Well, we have to undo this screw here and this screw here. And I have to undo some socket, bolts, nuts, things, there and there. Remove this plate, pull out this shroud, pull out the radiator, stick the new one back in afterwards. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Stay. That's never gonna fall over. Ooh. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Beautiful. Oh, you can do that one if you like, since you've already got the screwdriver. That is a rookie mistake, putting something on top of the engine. Ooh. Ooh. Now, how does this come out? Put this here now, somewhere safe.
Oh yeah, that gave us a lot of room, didn't it?
Well, you know, we can fit our hand there now. Fuck that off. Now we get to look at what we're working with here. Well, that seems pretty loose. Oh, now the one thing I don't want to do is lose these clamps into the engine bay, because I'll never get them back.
Not a chance.
Oh. They're still relatively green. Just hold that up for me. I don't really want to lose too much water there. This is actually quite difficult. This is probably the only part of the engine bay that's got as much room as what I'm working with here, and this is already difficult. What I'll get you to do is just hold those for a sec.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Yeah, bro.
Why?
So it holds them up. Not too tight, it'll hurt. So I'm going to undo the bolt for the fan shroud on this side, and you can do that shit over there.
You're gonna have to cut the zip ties to get to the hose underneath. Yeah, bolt underneath the hose one.
Well,
So,
maybe we should have put the zip ties on. Whose idea was that?
do you have cutters, Steve?
Yeah.
What are you-
I'm almost through it anyway. Just going to cut it.
Just gonna cut it?
Just going to cut it.
Just gonna cut it, yeah.
There you go. That's how you fuck that off.
That was cut.
So what we want to do is keep those pipes. So we're going to try not to damage them by twisting zip ties off them. This is really good because now I don't look like an idiot. I actually got that off pretty easily. Right. You want to know a secret?
As long as it's a good secret.
I found the bolt. I've got a feeling that these belts are going to squeal for a bit when we start the car up.
They'll sound like you then, won't they, mate?
Slow and steady wins the race.
I'm not sure what race you're doing, mate.
We're going to go in a race. That's why I've been painting things red.
I'm pretty sure you've painted everything black or grey, mate.
The brakes are red, so it stops faster. Now, can we take that out or not?
I think it's hooked on the bottom.
Because if we could take it out, because you see the bottom, the hose is stuck, sort of. So we've got a bit of a conundrum.
I think it's bolted on
Word
at
of
the
the
bottom,
day. No, it's not bolted on the bottom. I think it's bolted on the bottom. No, it's not.
You sure?
When in doubt, get the new one out. So we clearly have no idea what we're doing inside of this engine bay, which is no surprise to anyone. So what we're going to do is get the new radiator out, take a look at the mounting points on there, find out where we're coming unstuck on this one, and try and fix the situation. Ooh, overnight parts from the other side of Melbourne, so probably come from China. Everything's from China these days. Like a kid at Christmas, and I've paid for the presents. Now, there's nowhere for things to be mounted at the bottom. So we've got the two mounting positions for the fan shroud at the top. The radiator inlet and outlet hoses are in the same position as the current radiator, and so is the radiator cap and bleed point. So in theory, we should just be able to piss that radiator off out of the engine bay.
They look like they're sitting something, Steve.
It might be the hose on the bottom that's stopping us from succeeding at winning at life.
I'm going to be honest, mate. There's a bolt down there into the radiator.
No. I've been doing this for at least 6 times longer than you have. I know there is no bolt there.
I'm sure you do. There's a bolt there. I'm going to bring you a bolt, and you're going to shut up.
He's just undoing a bolt from the splash pan or something, I guarantee it. Undoing the bottom underglow neons that are there still. So while Nick's looking for that bolt,
I got a bolt.
It's a screw. This is the reason why we're swapping out the radiator. This one's full of rust. Now, it hasn't blown a head gasket. I might have back flushed the radiator with some pressure and dislodged all the rust from the inside of it. And essentially, I've turned this current radiator into a cappuccino machine, and that's got to get the fuck out of here. So where was that from? All right, I've just snapped the bolt.
There's your thing.
No, bigger than that one, like a normal size Phillips head, but like a small, not that giant screwdriver. Look, normal size.
It's the same length as the other one.
You know what's nice about buying a car that was done up by somebody who favours white vinyl interiors and alloy rims from Bob Jane T-Marts and neon lights and subwoofers? It hasn't fucked with the engine at all. Ugh. Murphy's Law, man. If it can get stuck on something, it's going to find something to get stuck on.
Out she comes. Out she comes.
That's how you fuck off the radiator from a 300ZX. It's fucked.
Beautiful. What are we doing now?
Well, installation is always the reverse of removal. This is not looking like it's going to be an easy do. Hang on. I can see where I'm caught. If I can just get past that bit where I'm caught, I won't be caught.
Pull this out.
Oh, you got it out.
Oh, it fucking unclips, dog.
Why didn't you find that out earlier? Fucking hell. You're supposed to make things easier for me.
Maybe take it off. No, you fucked us.
All it's got to go is just past those pipes and it's straight in.
Just push it forward.
No, I don't want to go forward.
Yeah, you do, because they're all rubber pipes. You can go past rubber pipes.
It's a high mount radiator. Yeah, we'll cut some vents in the bonnet. Air inflow there, keeps it cold. Like,
yeah.
really, this is what Nissan wanted to do. They just didn't think of it at the time. It's true what they say about Z32s. The engine bays are really tight. But I don't think they meant this way. All right.
That was a really shit joke.
Well, it wasn't, that was just stating what people say. It wasn't really a joke. Look, I've got the solution to the problem here.
If you get a hammer or a beer.
Shiny.
It looks good.
What's your great idea?
I mean, just fucking. Wait.
Well, why didn't you do that a minute ago?
It's alright, I'm gonna go in the rain instead.
This is what I wanted to do. I really like just hitting it.
I know you did.
And just like that, our new radiator's installed in position. Looks, oh, that's wet out there. You can't just go into your auto cheaps and get a hose that's made for the radiator in the car. The young kid there who knows nothing about cars, who's never driven, is going to ask what colour it is and whether it's an automatic. He doesn't care about the hose being different. It goes on what the part book tells him. So what we're going to do, we put that on there. We put that on there and we see how long it is. So we have to cut the middle out by that much.
All right, we're gonna fuck off the tip of this. So we've used a little bit of electrical tape to make sure we get a nice clean cut so we can fit it on nice and easy. Oh, I'm gonna cut myself so bad here.
You really need a handle on that.
It's all right, I'm getting there.
You know we're going to find the one with the handle at the end of filming today. Now tell me that doesn't look like a bought one.
That doesn't look like I bought one.
No, you
But it'll
are a hindrance. You're not helping. You're a hindrance. Now, how the fuck do you suppose we put the fan shroud back on?
Probably before we put that hose on, mate.
Fucking hell. No, that's not how you do it.
I mean, Steve, it's got the bolt thing there. You can't get past it.
Fuck.
All right, I'm gonna do the bottom hose so you do that.
Now that we've test fitted the hose, we'll take this back off again so we can fit that fan shroud back on. So, removal's the reverse of installation, which is the reverse of removal the first time, and then you reverse that and you get back to installing again. And then you're sort of back to where you should have been the whole time at the start. Yep. So squeeze that through. That clips like, oh, that looks good. It's sort of hard when you're two blokes working on two different holes at the same time. If we work on the same hole simultaneous, then we might have a chance.
Might ruin the hole.
Or we can pull it out.
This is so much effort for one hole.
Well, sometimes you got to put in the effort for the hole. Some have said that life's a struggle. They don't know struggle until they've worked on an engine bay like this one. I don't even want to put the hose on. I actually feel like I've aged about 15 years in the space of 15 minutes. You know what I'm really looking forward to? Changing the turbos in this thing, or changing the injectors, or changing anything in a difficult part of the engine bay, rather than this easy part of the engine bay, which has heaps of space. Maybe I should just LS1 swap the fucking thing. A new radiator's installed and it looks fucking awesome. Whether it's any good or not is yet to be proven, as we haven't filled it with coolant yet. But before we can get to that stage, we have to reassemble the radiator braces and put this thing in, cover up our Cuscos, because you know we're all about the JDMs stickers, and this is going to need a little bit of gentle persuasion. So what we'll do is we'll get the hammer out and give it a good old beating, or we get the angle grinder out and just cut off 5 or 6 mil along the top there. So what I'm going to do is use a little bit of masking tape just to mask up a straight edge. Now the reason we're using the masking tape is because it sticks to this stainless steel really well. And that will just give us something to use the angle grinder along. Okay, so we're going to put these on.
I'm not fitting you.
Lefty's righty, righty's lefty.
Yeah,
so that
a bit
fits.
better.
Yep. So we need to cut a bit off the bottom of it.
And cut a notch in it to pull it back.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, so we've put the radiator shroud, fan cover thingy, everything is back together. And I'm sure we've broken something, like maybe these 2 clips here. Anyway, we're ready to fill it up with coolant, we're ready to fill it up with water, and then we will be extra cool, because I'm all about being as cool as a cucumber, which is why my coolant's green, because cucumbers are green. What we'll do, just
take it off, yeah?
Just gonna take this off. Because it's a virgin cap, you see. It's never been opened. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Right. So,
righty, tighty, lefty, loosey, yeah?
well, it'll come from that way. You just got to push down. It's childproof.
Childproof.
Push down, yeah.
Of course.
So just before we put in the new coolant, this is what a coolant cap is supposed to look like. This is what our old coolant cap looked like. Latte, not coolant. It smells so good. Tide challenge. Tide pod challenge. Tide pod challenge. Why don't somebody try drinking coolant? Oh no, made a mess.
Do you know how much you need?
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, right, cool.
Do you want to start it up?
Yep, yeah, right.
See if he stalls it. Neutral.
What? You got a car that works, Steve?
You need to give it the, just to give it the old Fonzie. At this time, we're just going to take perfect opportunity to sit back, have a couple of beers, while this does its work, bleeds out all the air from the system, and then that's the radiator done.
Rather than topping up the radiator every 30 seconds because the old girl drinks more than a retired alcoholic and locked in a bar, we suggest you tape the bottom of your funnel or use rubber, anything, maybe some like butyl tape, gets it nice and tight, creates an airtight seal, then we can fill up the funnel to the top. That raises your point in the cooling system, so it makes it easy for the air to escape. And also you can sit down, have a beer, and let that thing drink away.
So before we wrap up this episode, what we're going to do is just quickly install this strut brace. Now, strut braces are there purely to look cool. They do absolutely nothing for a street car. Probably just make your car look better for the drifting or the apexing of the corners, that kind of stuff. Basically, we're going to undo the bolts there, and the brake stopper on that side, bolt the thing in there, and we get all the street creds in the world for the low downs and the stance makes you dance.
Everything Steve just said is a load of crap. Now, it may be a street car, but he does have coilovers in this car to make it real nice and low and totally handle good. But coilovers in an older car can easily cause your strut towers to crack, mainly in the rear and the front, or mainly in the rear, but still the front. And so chucking that strut brace on will stiffen the front and also distribute any sort of tension it's got. It'll also save these things from cracking, and it'll help the stiffen up any body roll so he can corner a little bit better when he hits the track.
Yeah, right. That's going to go in like that, and we squeeze that under. That hose goes through. Then I'm sort of in position, so you see where you're going to go. I'm pretty sure that this cover's going to have to come out. And then that's going to be upsetting because no one will know that this is a V6 or 3000 or got twin cam 24 valves or that it's a Nissan. And the more red we remove, the slower it's going to go.
All right, we're in here. Steve, why the fuck don't we fit?
Well, you've got to have some flex, you see.
There you go.
Oh, does it fit?
Huh?
It does fit.
Yeah.
When I bought that strut brace, it was actually blue for about 2 hours. I was painted the same way that we painted the wheels, with the exact same wheel paint. And if you want to know how to do that, check our last episode where we did paint the wheels, because it's a bloody good episode too.
I've had to remove this bracket off our brake master cylinder. It bolted onto one of the bolts on the strut tower. Can't fit back on with this strut brace here, so we're gonna fuck that off, and that's weight reduction right there.
But the strut brace is in its place. Well, we removed something this small and installed something that big. So where exactly is the weight reduction?
I mean, this thing's like carbon fibre. You just paint it over it.
It's aluminium.
Same shit.
Fast tip, if you've got to do up something in a freshly painted area, just put a cloth there to stop your ratchet brushing up against the new paint. Boom. Fucking awesome. Ah! Always talk to spec.
Who the fuck is spec? That's the end of my beer, which means that's the end of this episode of Intake.
Well, of course, that's the end of your beer. You started that one at the start of the episode, whereas I've had my 4 beer quota, as this was a 4 beer job, including the one of looking into the abyss that is the Z32 engine bay. Don't forget, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Most importantly, comment below, because we love hearing your feedback.
And make sure you don't miss the new episode of our special stage. Where we have something for you. I'm never ever telling people I'm a mechanic.